A mother sits in a bunker. Soviet bombs shake the walls. Her 6 children sleep beside her. She loves them more than anything. And in the next few hours, she will kill every single one of them. This was Magda Goebbels, wife of Hitler's propaganda chief. And her choice was just the beginning. When Nazi Germany fell, the wives of its leaders faced fates so dark, history tried to bury them. Until now. May 1945. Germany surrenders. Nazi leaders run, hide, some take their own lives. But their wives? They had nowhere to go. Emmy Göring was the first to fall. Just days earlier, she was basically royalty. Her husband Hermann ran Hitler's Air Force. She lived in mansions, wore diamonds, hosted parties for the most powerful Nazis in Germany. Now she was hiding in a castle with her young daughter, waiting, knowing soldiers would come. When American troops kicked down the door, they found a woman in silk clothing surrounded by stolen art, paintings ripped from Jewish homes, jewelry taken from the dead. The soldiers didn't care about her tears. They dragged her away for questioning. For hours, interrogators demanded answers. What did she know about the death camps? The millions killed? Emmy claimed she was innocent, just a wife, just a mother. But photographs told a different story. Emmy laughing with Hitler. Emmy at Nazi rallies. Emmy choosing artwork stolen from families sent to die. Her husband, Hermann, would hang at Nuremberg. But Emmy? Her punishment would be something else entirely. And she wasn't the only wife the Allies were hunting. While Emmy faced interrogation, other Nazi wives ran for their lives. Ilse Koch knew exactly why. They called her the Witch of Buchenwald. She had lived inside one of Germany's deadliest concentration camps, not as a prisoner, as the commandant's wife. Survivors told stories about her, how she walked among starving prisoners like she was shopping, how she watched men die and felt nothing. When American forces got close, Ilse vanished. She burned documents, changed her name, moved from safe house to safe house across a collapsing Germany. For months, military police hunted her. They interviewed survivors, gathered testimony, built a case. In June 1945, they found her hiding in bombed-out ruins in Bavaria. The woman who once terrorized thousands was now digging through rubble for scraps of food. But Ilse wasn't the only one running. Gerda Bormann grabbed her 10 children and fled toward Switzerland. Her husband Martin was one of the most wanted men on earth. That made her family a target. They traveled at night, slept in barns, begged strangers for food. She almost made it. Almost. What happened when they caught her would break her completely. But first, the trials had to begin. The courtroom was packed. Cameras flashed. The world wanted justice. Emmy Göring sat in the dock. No more diamonds, no more silk dresses, just a broken woman facing charges that could destroy her. Prosecutors showed photographs. Emmy at Nazi parties, Emmy selecting stolen artwork. Emmy laughed, while Jewish families were shipped to death camps. She cried, claimed ignorance, said she was just a loyal wife. Nobody believed her. Former servants testified against her. One described how Emmy laughed when told about Jewish deportations. They deserve whatever happens to them, she had said. The verdict came down hard. Guilty. But prison was where the real horror began. Ilse Koch got life behind bars. The woman who once commanded fear now scrubbed floors, slept in a tiny cell, ate food she would have fed to dogs. Guards showed no mercy. Other prisoners despised her. She was a symbol of everything they had suffered through. Prison records describe her mental collapse. She talked to herself, couldn't accept her new reality. The contrast between her former life and her cell drove her toward madness. Some Nazi wives would spend decades behind bars. Others would face something far worse. And for a few, the end was already coming. October 15, 1946. Emmy Göring was released from prison. She thought freedom meant a fresh start. She was wrong. Nobody would hire her. Nobody would speak to her. The woman who once dined with world leaders now lived in poverty, alone, forgotten. She died in 1973. Only a handful of people attended her funeral, but Emmy got out. Ilse Koch didn't. After 20 years in prison, guards found Ilse dead in her cell. She had taken her own life. Even after 2 decades, she never accepted what she had done. And Magda Goebbels? She never faced trial. In that Berlin bunker on May 1st, 1945, she made her final choice. She poisoned her 6 children, one by one. The youngest was only 4 years old. Then she and her husband killed themselves. The children's bodies were found days later in the bunker, still in their nightclothes. Magda chose death over facing what came next. But she wasn't the only one. The Nazi wives paid a heavy price. But their husbands? What they faced was far worse. Hermann Göring was sentenced to hang, but hours before his execution, guards found him dead in his cell. A cyanide capsule hidden in his mouth. Nobody knows how he got it, or who helped him. October 16, 1946. The remaining Nazi leaders were led to the gallows, one by one. What happened next would shock even the executioners.